economic and financial environments up to the third quarter of 2017, and the outlook for the rest of the year. The recent spate of flooding and hurricanes in some parts of the globe, the flooding in Nigeria, and the increasing tension between the US and North Korea, as well as the perception of hostilities in the Korean Peninsula, and the associated geopolitical tensions were identified as key risks to global output growth at this meeting. On the domestic front, the economy exited recession, which began in the first quarter of 2016, during the second quarter of 2017, with a modest positive short to medium-term outlook, resulting largely from deliberate macroeconomic stimulus and a stable naira exchange rate. Inflation expectations also appeared anchored on the strength of prevailing tight monetary policy stance. 7 members of the MPC were present at this meeting. The external developments. Global output is projected to improve further in 2017 as growth forecast by the International Monetary Fund in its July World Economic Outlook was projected at 3.5%, up from 3.2% in 2016. Output growth in some advanced economies, including Japan, the Euro area, as well as some emerging markets and developing economies, is expected to improve in 2017. Nigeria, Brazil, and South Africa all exited recession, while Russia is likely to exit recession in the fourth quarter of 2017 after a mild contraction of 0.57% during the second quarter. Growth forecast for the US was revised downwards from 2.3% to 2.1% in 2017 as a result of the weak growth observed during the first quarter of the year. The MPC, however, noted some headwinds confronting the optimistic global growth prospects, to include recent developments on the Korean Peninsula, the damage to the infrastructure caused by the hurricanes Harvey, Irma, and Maria, the lull in Brexit negotiations, and the normalization of monetary policy by the US Fed, which is expected to instigate global capital flow reversals. Other challenges include the continued slow pace of recovery in global oil and other commodity prices, and China's reduction in uptake of global commodities. In addition, the committee noted the tepid global inflation momentum, implying that continued monetary policy normalization could be injurious to global growth prospects. The uptick in global inflation persisted but moderated in response to rising oil prices, continued accommodative monetary policy in the advanced economies, and currency appreciation in some emerging markets and developing countries. Average inflation for the developed economies is projected at 1.9% in 2017, while it is forecast to average 4.5% in the developing countries, as prices are expected to moderate due to seasonal effects. The committee observed that the outlook for global monetary policy remains predominantly accommodative in support of recovery and growth. Data from the National Bureau of Statistics showed that real gross domestic product grew by 0.5% during the second quarter of 2017 in Nigeria, against the contractions of 0.91% and 1.49% in the previous quarters of 2017 and the corresponding quarter of 2016, respectively, marking the technical exit of the Nigerian economy from recession. Non-oil real GDP grew by 0.45% during the second quarter of 2017, driven largely by agriculture 3%, industry 1.1%, construction 0.1%. The modest growth was attributed to fiscal injections from the implementation of the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan and enhanced supply of foreign exchange arising from improved crude oil prices. The committee also noted the positive outlook from the Purchasing Managers Index, PMI, for manufacturing and non-manufacturing activities, which stood at 53.6 and 54.1 index points in August 2017, respectively, above the 50 index points benchmark, indicating moderate signs of recovery. The committee further noted that although the recovery was weak, it was hopeful that the active implementation of the 2017 budget could boost aggregate demand and employment. Committee noted that money supply M2 contracted by 11.06% in August 2017, annualized, in contrast to the provisional growth benchmark of 10.29% for 2017. The development in M2 is largely due to the contraction of 18.42% in other assets in August 2017. Similarly, M1 contracted by 12.25% in August 2017, annualized, to 18.37%. Net domestic credit contracted by 0.14%, annualized at minus 0.2%, driven majorly by the net credit to government, which also contracted by 1.05% against the program growth of 33.12%. Credit to the private sector, however, grew marginally by 0.07% in August 2017, compared with the provisional benchmark of 14.88%. The MPC also noted the policy constraints in ensuring the flow of credit to the real sector in the face of weak and underperforming monetary aggregates. Inflationary pressure in the economy continued to moderate, with headline inflation year-on-year receding for the 7th consecutive month to 16.01% in August 2017 from 16.05% in July 2017. Food inflation declined slightly to 20.25% in August 2017 from 20.28% in July 2017, while core inflation increased to 12.3% in August 2017 from 12.21% in July 2017. This development was attributed to the contraction in money supply, decline in imported food and non-food prices, favorable base effects, and the moderating effects of stable exchange rates. The committee, however, noted that the high food inflation was traceable to rising prices of farm inputs and supply shortages, intermittent attack by herdsmen on farmers, as well as weak harvest due to increased flooding of farmland. Money market interest rates oscillated in tandem with the level of liquidity in the banking system, as the average interbank core rate, which opened at 18% on July 26, 2017, closed at 7% on August 31, 2017. The open buyback rate, OBB, opened at 15.03% and closed lower at 7.83% in the same period. However, the average interbank call and OBB rates for the period stood at 22.63% and 39.66%, respectively. The movement in the net liquidity positions and flows reflected the effects of open market operation sales, foreign exchange interventions, statutory revenue payments to states and local governments, remittances by Nigerian Customs and the Federal Inland Revenue Services for FAC meetings, and the maturity of CBN bills. Committee noted the continuing improvement in the external reserves position and the equities segment of the capital market, External reserves position grew to $32.9 billion at close of business on the 25th of September 2017, while the all-share index rose by 7.2% from 33,117.48 on June 30, 2017 to 35,504.62 on August 31, 2017.